Hey guys, hope you're doing well. VaulSC here as always. Just going to announce some things about round 5, the 5th and final round of the infiNity Tournament League, Tabletop Simulator League, I should say. Thanks for making it this far. We're basically down to a finals now. There are 2 people who are undefeated, so I'd like to talk about that first. It is Killer Whales and Dev. So Killer Whales is a Yuching player from Wyoming, United States, playing against Dev from Latvia with TAC, Tartary Armored Core. And I chatted with them last night. I went over some rules. We did some scheduling, and what's going to happen is that they are going to play their game on the 25th of April. So that is not this Saturday following me posting the video, it's next week. In the meantime, everybody else can play their games. So although the round 5 pairings will be going up, we're not going to play the grand finals until the 25th. But the timing of that, let me just explain that. It will be a live game, it will be a streamed game. You'll be able to log into Twitch or just click on Twitch and just watch me commentating on their game. So Wyoming, United States, obviously different time zone from Latvia and different time zone from New Zealand. The way it's going to work is that late Friday night, early hours of Saturday morning, Killer Whales is going to log in like just after midnight, his time in America. And at that time, it'll be late morning, like 11:30 for Dev in Latvia. And for me, it'll be a nice, easy breezy 9 p.m. on a Saturday evening. And then they'll play their game. Unfortunately, for those of you who live in the United States, especially on the coast, it might be extremely late at night for you to watch the live streamed game. What I will say, though, is that if you wake up the following morning and go to my Twitch channel, the stream will still be saved and recorded there. You simply click on that and you can see the entire stream, including people's chat comments. You just won't be able to comment yourself in a live kind of way. And obviously the game will be posted to YouTube, so you can still just watch it. But look, if you're excited about watching the finals, you can do that. And obviously it's going to be on Twitch, and if you just keep track of when that's going to be, just show up. I mean, just work out what time of the world it's going to be for you. So we're talking about like just after midnight, middle America kind of time. Midday Europe, so that's pretty easy, all your Europe guys. And for Australasia, all of the Australians and New Zealanders involved in the league that want to check it out, well, perfect timing, that's prime time, early evening Saturday night. Middle of next week, I'm going to be posting some advertisements and hype videos, and I'll say more about the actual players, and we'll talk about it a bit more. I'm even planning on introducing a fun game that we can play with Discord, where everybody gets like 1,000 virtual imaginary dollars, and you can use it to place a bet on the winner, and that'll just be a for fun game. By the way, if you know lots about sports betting, DM me, because I'm just trying to learn to do that kind of thing. We may do that for other show matches and stuff. I also note, in fact, if I just have a look at the score at the moment. Whoa, webcam. So we're on. This is showing the pairings for round 4 and the games that have been won and lost. I also note that Hakiman is very high up after this round. If I go to the leaderboard, actually, Hakiman is basically next after the winners, along with Adam, because they actually got a draw. It is possible that if Dev wins, he'll go from 4 wins and 9 tournament points. If he gets to, say, a minor victory, he'll go up to 11 tournament points. And then if Hakiman or Methuselah just get an absolute total victory, they'll go up to 12. And that may actually put them ahead of Killer Whales on tournament points, potentially, if the objective points are way up there as well. Like if Hakiman got a 10-0 in his next game, he'd be on 12 tournament points and 37 objective points, so that'd actually put him ahead of Killer Whales in the table if we were running it with ITS rules, which we're not. So as I explained in the actual rules document, it's going to be about wins, but there may eventually be a player who's ahead of the actual winner in terms of tournament points and objective points. If that happens, I might ask those people to play a special show match, which we'll also stream and have a bit of fun with, but that won't be the overall winner. It'll just be something extra for us to have a look at. So hopefully you guys can look forward to that. This weekend, though, everybody else is able to play their games, and we'll just talk a bit about that, how that's going. Coming back to round 4 that we've just had, sadly there have been some dropouts. I'm surprised that there weren't more dropouts earlier in the league. We only have 2 after 5 weeks, or maybe 3. And I think that's great. No shame on the people that couldn't make it. There's a bit of scheduling fatigue, obviously. I've been asking you guys to keep this up for 5 weeks now, and playing against people from all different countries of the world. So we had Tassie Tiger and Akalon dropping out. If you have a look at round 4, you can see that I've paired myself up against R-Type X. We still want to give him a game and give him a score, so I'm going to be playing him tomorrow. And then hopefully Billy is going to step in to play against Ross. Billy's a close friend of mine who's also in the unscheduled ranking league. So I've talked to them both, and they're willing to play a game Saturday, Sunday, and have a score for them. We also had a bye, potentially. Tracksuit Adonis didn't manage to get through his game with Fukushima. I'd rather not give Fukushima just a 3-0 sort of tournament points win. Preferably, if you guys see Fukushima over the weekend and you're in the unscheduled part of the league, or if you haven't won that many games since he's at the bottom of the leaderboard, can you give him a game and just report the unscheduled game, and I'll just count that as a round 4 game, so that we can just get a bit more sensible result for round 5. So hopefully that makes sense. Everything else is going swimmingly well. If we go now to round 5 pairings, you'll see I haven't actually done it. I haven't completed it. And the reason for that is that I'd kind of like to use the scores from the weekend's games to give R-Type X and Ross a more appropriate round 3 opponent. And what that means for everybody else is that you kind of have to wait for an opponent. But look, it's the last round. There's no sort of time limit now for you have to complete your games. If you take the next 2 weeks to complete your game, that's not even a big deal. I mean, we're not even having the finals until the following weekend anyway, so they're playing their game then. So what's more likely to happen is that the rest of the draw is going to be completed by the end of this weekend, and then you can just play. And when I say the end of this weekend, I'm talking about Sunday night for me. And I'm like 24 hours ahead of the next, some parts of the world. So they'll still be part of the weekend to start playing your scheduled games. But look, if you're already on this, obviously Killer Whales and Dev, you guys are going to wait for the stream. But Hakeman Stoneman are facing off. King in Yellow Methuselah, that's an Aleph Mirror. Looking forward to that facing off. So if you're in the sort of top group, you can start playing. Everyone down through to Cobra Prime and Sapnipuas. Everybody after that, just wait a day or 2, and then I'll post your opponent after we've got a score for R-Type and Ross. Cool? So hopefully that is fair. Yeah. No, everything's been really good. And rankings-wise, all looking really fun. The next table has come out now, so I guess we can talk about that now. Obviously, the link is in the video description of this video or in the Discord. Basically, I've just posted the link. Obviously, it's going to be in Matt Bag's channel. I'll put it in the announcements after I record this as well, so you guys can just click on that. Obviously, you want to subscribe it, as you always do, and load up the table, and that will be the round 5 table. Yeah, so this is the table. This is the acquisition mission, by the way. So what I've done is I've actually loaded some communications console things on top of a Silhouette 3 objective, so you can still get normal kind of cover behind it. By the way, I've decided to just click on this console over here to give it the dawn light setting, but if you obviously load this up and you don't like it, just click back on default if you find that a bit of an eyesore. So we're back to default now, obviously, for just demonstrating the map. I have come back to there being some pretty long fire lanes. So for example, this one here is massive, especially considering you can deploy in this building and just have a Noctifer or a sniper or a link team with a missile launcher there, and you can see along this entire diagonal, like right through there. And look, that's fine, that's just how I roll. There's also another pretty strong one from the roof of this building over here. Same building actually, from on top through here. So if you've got a link team and you took that table side, you could have a couple of heavy weapons covering these really long fire lanes. But don't forget that due to these very large buildings in the middle, a lot of stuff actually is kind of blocked off. Also, I've taken the time to just carefully position a few ad boards in places where there was otherwise going to be quite an obnoxious line of sight. Like if you take this box here, put a sniper there, it can actually see right into the building as soon as you come around past through this door, except I've now blocked it off with an ad board, so you can't see that. Similarly over here, there was actually a really annoying little sort of view right through down all the way through to the back of the board, so I blocked that off. And similarly over here, from this box and this sort of fence here, you could actually see all the way right through down to this crate. So I've blocked that off. So although there are two extremely long ones around here and here, there are other places to advance and get into range for combi rifles, Spitfires, that kind of thing. Also, I've actually shrunk these ad boards here so a tag can actually vault over them. Most places around the map, even Silhouette 4 stuff, can actually weave their way through obstacles and fit around things. Maybe not so easily this spot here, so watch out for that, but you can come around the side. And yes, you can fit through that, I checked. Deployment zones, I've kind of made them a little bit weak just because with the acquisition, I kind of want players that have an aggressive game plan and plan on just steamrolling their opponents and getting a lot of kills, and especially taking out things like jammers. There should be ways of just walking around the flanks or through the middle of the map and finding angles to things in the deployment zones, and yet there is still space you can hide things. So this little building here, you can open that up, put a lieutenant in there if you want to. If you've got this table side, you've got this house, which is pretty protective. Note that this large ad board here is just to make the sniper perch a little bit less abusive. So where previously, before the ad board was there, you could actually see down this long line here. Now you kind of get this angle, which is great, and obviously this angle through here, so great position, but you don't get all of these angles as well. It's just a little bit less open with this ad board there, so I've kind of had to restrict that a little bit. So hopefully you guys like this map. By the way, one thing they're doing these days with the mod is that they're no longer having the table so that you can switch out between modes. So as you'll notice, you can't press 1 or 2 to change between the grid of the deployment zone. What you do instead is you go up to options, click on grid, click on show lines, close this, and now you've got a grid that actually shows you where everything is. So basically 3 squares out from your table edge is your deployment, because that's increments of 4 inches, and then your for deployment level 1 stuff is out to here, if you guys understand that. So deployment zone comes out to here, forward deployment comes out to this line, and you can work everything else based on that. Objectives have just been neatly snapped to the exact points where they're meant to be, and once you've finished deploying, you come up to options, grid, you just turn off the show lines and on with your game. For some reason I've left the Cossack Diplomat out here. I think I was just checking lines of sight and stuff. Why is the HVT, you can't move it around when you change the silhouette, I think. Don't know why it does that. Or maybe I just locked it by accident. Probably that was what happened. I've also saved a copy of the map bag out here, so if you just want to click on save object without save you from even actually packing it up. And obviously Digits put some of our maps into the GitHub thing, so that's looking really good. So round 5, keep posting your games, keep enjoying. League's been really fun. I've had some really good feedback about it, and look out for my video this week about the grand finals and how the stream is going to work and some rules around that. Before we wrap up this video, I just wanted to also point out that the guys from White Noise podcast in Australia hit me up. Obviously they've run their own little sort of mini tournament weekend thing, which apparently has gone quite well. Bear in mind that these guys are a podcast, they're new to Tabletop Simulator, whereas me, I've been at it for a year now, and I work with Rock No Die. We're veterans of this this mod now, and we're a bit more experienced with Tabletop Simulator than they are. I'm not dissing them or anything, and I'm sure their tournament was run very smoothly, but you guys may have noticed that they were using some default maps in it. So he did ask me if I could create a map or recommend a map for their finals match. I have actually done that for them, and that is available if you go onto obviously my Steam, and you just look for my Steam stuff. Where do I find my Steam stuff? If I just hit the back button, here it is right here. So White Noise Tournament Table by VaulSC. You can find that and subscribe to it, and you can load that up in your game, and you can play your casual matches on that as well. Note that this table is actually designed for unmasking. So you can see the 2 objectives out here, plus the one in the middle, which is inside the building. And I've made... I feel like this table side over here for red is a bit better for hiding HVTs for this mission, just personally. But what I've done is I've actually added these little things which I've labeled HVT concealers. There's a couple of them to make it a little bit more feasible for this blue side to hide those HVTs. Still, it's a nice looking map, and I think it looks like it plays pretty well. I'm planning on getting a couple of games in it myself. I'll put these ad boards up here so you can't just put some stupid Daylami over here and have vision of everybody's deployment zone. I'd hate that. So that's why that's happened. But yeah, pick up this map as well. I've added it to my my workshop, I think. Hopefully I've added it to my workshop, so don't forget that my my maps cache is available as well. There are 25 maps in here now, I think. Oh no, I haven't actually officially uploaded it. Let me just do that right now while I'm recording this video. So there should be a maps collection with 26 maps in it now, and I'll just go to modding. This is how you do it, by the way, update workshop, and just hit update, and it'll just, oh, no, it hasn't done that. I've got to actually go to my Steam page. Here's a tutorial on how to upload mods, by the way. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do that after I finish recording. Fair enough. Anyway, main point is you can come over here and you can save my map collection here, and then you've got all of my maps, right, where you've got just a whole bags upon bags upon bags. It's got all of the league maps as well. It's got the White Noise finals table too, which you can grab. Alright, any questions, message me in Discord or write a comment in chat, and please be patient for your pairings to come out if you haven't already got them. If you have already got them, feel free to play on the round 5 acquisition map that I showed you earlier, and keep posting your results, and I can't wait for the finals game on the 25th. Gonna stream it, gonna have a good time, so see you there.